Hello, and welcome back again to my Common Sense Living podcast. Once again, I'm so happy you joined on my exciting journey to enlighten you about your health and how well you can improve it. But first, I have to say, my Taming Diabetes Differently course, it's a 2-month program designed for you to take charge of your health. The monthly coaching is also available, and you can whip your blood sugar numbers into a healthy range. So I invite you to email me, tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com. That's tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com. Are you ready? Are you ready to change your life for the better? I'm your host, Annalie Masters. Let's get started. Ooh, things are hot here. Well, how did that happen? Who knows? Okay, so today this is going to be pretty much all about diabetes. Diabetes or things that relate, okay? So it's time to treat sugar like cigarettes. The food we eat impacts every aspect of our lives and our bodies, our hormones, brain chemistry, immune system, microbiome, the list goes on. As consumers, we deserve the right to easily understand our food's nutritional value in order to make informed decisions about what we consume and how that will impact our health and well-being. This is especially important when it comes to ingredients that are detrimental when eaten in excess, such as sugar. As researchers in functional medicine, longevity, AI, and nutrition, as well as inventors of health-enhancing and life-saving solutions, Dr. Hyman and his team have dedicated his professional life to improving the health and well-being of millions everywhere. And while we applaud the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for taking important strides to pass mandatory front-of-package labeling for packaged foods in the U.S., this is a change that cannot come soon enough. Everyone's health depends on it. The FDA recommends adults consume no more than 50 grams of added sugar per day based on a 2,000-calorie diet. But the average American consumer consumes closer to 1/3 of a pound of sugar daily, more than 3 times the recommended amount. To put that into perspective, the average American consumes over 100 pounds of sugar per person a year. With that much sugar consumption, it's no wonder that 49% of American adults are diabetic or pre-diabetic. What's worse is that much of the sugar we consume occurs without even realizing it. There are over 60 different ways sugar is identified on nutrition labels, making a consumer's attempt to regulate their sugar intake unfairly complicated. 74% of packaged foods in the U.S. contain added sugar. 74%, including seemingly healthy foods such as salad dressing, coleslaw, and even baked beans, marinades, and yogurt. Some sweetened yogurts contain more sugar than a can of soda, and a can of soda is horrific. The fact that sugar is so biologically addictive, studies indicate it is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. That makes a reality that is hidden in so many foods even more harmful. Most of us are addicted to sugar and we don't even know it. The cycle addiction is relentless and hard to break. We eat foods with sugar, which then triggers a blood sugar spike, which lights up the pleasure center in our brain. When the inevitable sugar crash comes, we seek that spike again in the form of craving more sugar. Without easily discernible food labeling, shoppers unknowingly create this cycle inside their own bodies, even while erroneously they think the food they're buying is healthy. How the world got hooked on sugar. In many countries, labels on packaged foods serve a similar function to labels on cigarette cartons to warn consumers of the risk. In Chile, a policy of high-in labels on the front of sugary drinks dramatically reduced the consumption of those beverages. In Israel, a front-of-package labeling system wherein a red label indicates an item high in sugar has led to significant positive changes in 76% of the population's food buying habits. We're excited to see what a similar program in the U.S. would yield. Those in the U.S. lobbying against this front-of-package change, unsurprisingly, have an interest in the continued popularity of their products. In February 2023, a joint filing, the nation's largest cereal producers threatened a lawsuit after proposed changes would not allow them to label products as healthy if they didn't meet nutritional standards. This dynamic is similar to changes made in cigarette advertising in the 20th century. In the 1940s, the famous Camel cigarettes campaign featured the slogan, "More doctors smoke Camels." I remember that. My dad used to smoke them. Shoot, we used to roll them for him back when he had the tobacco, which, gee, I don't even know if you can buy anymore. By 1969, a mandatory warning label was added to cigarettes, giving consumers clearer access to information about the risks, allowing them to make more informed choices about their health. Today, the percentage of Americans who smoke is 11% compared to nearly 50% back in the day when more doctors smoked Camels. Life expectancy rose nearly 11 years in that span of time, too, and the decrease in smoking certainly contributed. While front-of-package labeling on packaged foods is a crucial first step towards a healthier society, education and awareness alone will only get us so far. To drive even more significant change in the way most Americans eat, a change that will lead to a healthier population, we must also incentivize the production and widespread distribution of healthier alternatives. These alternatives, a packaged cookie with healthier ingredients, for instance, must be as delicious and readily available as those loaded with sugar. The recently announced new standards by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, USDA, that will limit added sugars in school meals can greatly help with the availability of healthier alternatives, especially when children form their eating habits. For the rest of us, though, front-of-package labeling is an important step, one in this journey towards national wellness, and it will also encourage producers to create healthier options for consumers. Readily available healthier alternatives is step 2. The FDA leadership ensuring labeling of high contents of sugar in packaged foods could increase awareness and reduce the negative impacts of sugar and help millions live healthier, longer lives. This change would help us make more informed choices about our food and our health. We believe it is our right and every American's right to have clear and visible information about the sugar content of the foods we are eating in order to make those decisions. And speaking about those changes, and in 1966, I was 16. And prior to that, our school lunches back in Iowa were the mothers of some of my fellow students. They had gardens, they raised the foods, they brought it in and fed us kids lunch. Lunch was so good, so nutritious. We looked forward to lunch. Could we have seconds, please? In 1966, I remember telling my mother I could hardly stand to eat lunch. We didn't have vending machines, but in 1966, they came in. And you could buy a Pepsi, a soda out of the vending machine, rather than having a juice or milk in your school lunch. Fish sticks, I don't even know if they make them anymore. They were, shaped like that, maybe that thick, little white fish inside with this golden breading, whatever. They were horrible. I could hardly eat them. I knew what real food was like, and this was junk. I could barely eat anything. I don't remember. Maybe I took a peanut butter sandwich to work or to school then. I don't know. But I remember telling my mom, complaining about the horrible lunches that were served because the government got involved and shut down the healthy food that we were eating, provided by our school parents of the children and the government instead. So anyway, that's just a food for thought, which is another form of information that feeds your soul. So is sugar worse than fat for your heart? Now, that's a good question, huh? Fat gets a bad rap when it comes to heart health. The real blame goes to sugar. It damages your cardiovascular system in several ways. Your diet influences how you feel, so the foods you decide to eat matter. What foods should you avoid if you want to reduce your risk of heart disease and cardiovascular damage? Studies show that excess sugar in your diet, specifically refined sugar, can cause a threefold increase in the risk of death from cardiovascular disease. While some may assume that fat would be the main cause of heart disease, eating a moderate amount of healthy fats like essential omega-3s from fish, flax seeds, and other sources, as well as monounsaturated fats from foods like avocado and olive oil, can help reduce LDL cholesterol, the bad cholesterol, and support healthy circulation and overall cardiovascular health. Unfortunately, sugar is shown in numerous studies to damage the cardiovascular system and other key areas of health through uncontrolled inflammation, production of free radicals, harmful effects on glucose and insulin function, and more. Sugar is shown to reduce the good cholesterol, HDL, and increase LDL, the bad cholesterol. It is also found to turn the LDL cholesterol into a much more dangerous form called oxidized cholesterol that significantly increases the risks of cardiovascular damage. The dangerous side effects of sugar, refined sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and refined carbohydrates like white flour spike your blood sugar levels, which can eventually lead to chronically high blood sugar and insulin resistance, the primary drivers of diabetes. Then this generates uncontrolled inflammation in your body and can lead to weight gain, both also major factors in heart disease. That is what makes high sugar diets so harmful for your health, metabolism, and a threat to your heart. Eating lots of sugar has also been linked to a dangerous condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or NAFLD in FLED, where the liver stores an excess amount of fat. In the US, NFLD is the most common form of liver disease, estimated to affect up to 25% of the population. This condition is linked to insulin resistance and obesity, and if untreated, it can lead to liver fibrosis, uncontrolled scarring of the liver, and liver failure. And there's a lot more liver damage nowadays in the mid-2020s. So protecting your heart health. So controlling inflammation and balancing your blood sugar levels are essential to maintain optimal cardiovascular health. A low sugar diet with unprocessed foods, low starch vegetables, a moderate amount of healthy fats, and high quality protein can help to balance blood sugar levels, control inflammation, and reduce the risks of cardiovascular and metabolic diseases. Proper sleep and healthy stress relief like yoga and meditation are also essential to control inflammation, keep blood sugar balanced, and improve core body functions. A healthy cardiovascular system is the key to long-term wellness and feeling your best. With a healthy, low-sugar diet, regular exercise, and stress relief and targeted supplements, you can keep heart-damaging inflammation in check and optimize your overall health naturally. So, can you stop your food cravings for sugar? Natural and easy solutions. You can find much encouragement from one who has been there, me. Yep. Been there, done that. I've been a sugarholic all my life. In fact, I must have been born with a gummy bear in my mouth, but nope, they weren't made then. You get my point though, right? Trying to stop unhealthy food cravings, but hitting a wall you can't seem to overcome. Hunger can cause you to lose your restraint. It's sweet poison. Sugar, not cocaine, is one of the most addictive and dangerous substances. Intense sweetness surpasses the cocaine reward, sugar addiction, pushing the drug sugar analogy to the limit. First, don't trade your healthy body birthright for a single meal of instant gratification. Beware of the friend that offers your sweet drug like candy, cake, cookies, ice cream, knowing you are seeking to become optimally healthy. What that is to you. Been there. Had that happen to me. I felt defeated until I woke up. They were unhealthy. They were fat. I wasn't. They were jealous. But I didn't realize that then until the little light bulb goes off and it woke me up. Obviously, at some point, we are not in our right mind when we let our hunger and food cravings get the best of us. Hunger and food cravings can be so strong that we toss aside self-control and common sense. And unless we overcome them, they may cause us to make completely irrational decisions. We need to relearn how to eat to live, not live to eat. We typically view people using deadly and addictive narcotics as not thinking rationally or even being out of their right mind. Yes or yes. Yet we Americans justify eating over 150 pounds of sugar annually, which according to Dr. Mark Hyman is 8 times more addictive than cocaine, and it has been linked to causing cancer, heart disease, ADHD, and most illnesses seen today. The fact is, eating processed foods and sugar is arguably the #1 cause of death worldwide, and no one seems to care. It's so easy to make the switch to natural sweeteners, but we don't often hear people tell us to do so. But I'm here to tell you how. All you have to do is be willing to listen, learn, and implement. So some experts claim that people are victims of their circumstances and have no hope of making the right decision. In the words of University of Connecticut researchers, high-fat, high-sugar foods stimulate the brain in the same way that drugs do. It may explain why some people can't resist these foods despite the fact that they know they are bad for them. However, this mentality takes away our ability to choose self-control and be empowered to live the abundant life. Truth is, it's not that people cannot resist harmful foods. Some people choose not to resist them. So, what's your choice? Continue to eat and blame, oh, poor pitiful me that I'm sick, or choose the right decision, clean up your act, and get on the health wagon. So how to stop food cravings? Because believe me, I've had them. 7 simple tricks to kick your sugar habit. Hands down, excess sugar is one of the worst things you can put in your body. In tiny doses, it's perfectly fine, but most people consume far too much sugar. In fact, the average adult consumes around 77 grams of added sugar a day. I've been eating a dozen of my homemade chocolate chip cookies or any other cookies I make for that matter. I can sit there and just wolf them down. And then afterwards, I just feel like, oh God, like eating them caught up with me, and I felt so stuffed and I wanted to puke because I felt miserable. But yet I just couldn't stop until one day that light bulb went off and I stopped, and I'm in control. And that's why I share with you. So 77 grams of added sugar a day is more than 19 teaspoons of added sugar every day. And this average doesn't even take naturally occurring sugars in food into account, like that in an apple. So why too much sugar is a real concern? Studies have found that consuming too much sugar can predispose you to obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, acne, cancer, depression, dysbiosis, which is gut bacteria imbalances, extreme fatigue, and even tooth decay. And these issues are just scratching the surface. So if you want to take care of your health and feel your best, eliminating sugar from your diet can make a huge difference. I share that, let's see, this is September, October, November, December, January. 5 months from now, I will be 75 years old. I tell people I'm 80 organic, 20% I'm human, because you can't get away from it. But I am in control and I'm healthy. I'm not sick. I don't get sick. I haven't had the flu since 1968. I took 1 flu shot in 2006 because I'd be the only nurse on duty at the time, certain days. But no, I refuse to get sick. I might get a cold now and then, but I haven't had the flu since 1968. So the problem is sugar is exceptionally addictive. And some experts and doctors even believe the addictive nature of sugar is comparable to drugs like cocaine. So whether you believe it's extreme or not, eliminating sugar from your life is a tough endeavor. And this post will give you more effective tips to successfully adopt a low sugar lifestyle. Eat more healthy fats and protein is the first one. When you feel full, you are much less likely to indulge in a sugary or carbohydrate-rich treat. That's where healthy fats and protein come in. These foods are slowly digested and keep you satiated for longer periods of time. One study, for example, found that when people increased their protein intake by around 25%, it reduced food cravings by a whopping 60%. Dietary fat is also shown to reduce your appetite because it's slowly digested and provides a significant amount of energy. To help reduce cravings, turn to foods such as avocados, nuts, and seeds to boost your healthy fat and plant-based protein intake. The second one is hack your environment. Ask any behavioral science expert and they'll agree. Your surroundings have a significant impact on your diet and lifestyle choices. Think of it this way. Imagine you arrive at work and discover someone had placed a fresh donut or your favorite cookie right on top of your desk within your line of sight. What are the chances of you resisting that sweet treat for the entire day? Pretty slim, right? Not for me, because I recognize that that person is a saboteur who is unhappy with herself or himself and is jealous that I can pick up that donut or cake, whatever it is, and toss it in the trash and not feel guilty, not to give it back to whoever. And hopefully that they watch that I do that because it shows I'm stronger than they are. I lead by example. Are you or someone you know dealing with blood sugar issues like diabetes? You can lower, even reverse these issues. I lowered my A1C from 5.9 to 4.9 in just 6 weeks. My doctor was impressed. I'm a nurse, certified health coach, and educator. Gift yourself another with this course, Taming Diabetes Differently. Change your life and theirs. Contact Annalie Master at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com or call 972-948-9976 and be sure to leave a message. This is not the last 3 months. It was a 3-month game I played with myself way back when I worked in the factory. And I love chocolate. And I'd had this little square of chocolate and I'd put it at my workstation and I could have it anytime I wanted. I gave myself permission anytime. But when it was gone, it was gone. So I didn't have it today. I'll have it tomorrow. And then tomorrow. And then I was on leave after 3 months of tomorrow, and that chocolate was still there. When I came back from leave, that chocolate was gone. Somebody couldn't resist that old chocolate, but I did. I gave myself permission to have it anytime I wanted, any day I wanted, but I kept saying tomorrow. And I broke my chocolate addiction. So I know it can be done, but that was way back in, the 90s perhaps. So luckily you can use this phenomenon to your advantage. You can hack your environment to improve your ability to resist sugary temptations by removing sugary foods and beverages from the equation. Ideally, keep them out of your household and don't bring them to work. Take hemp oil. And oh yeah, cannabis is so outlawed. I wonder why. Because it's healthy for you, but yet Roundup is in everything. So sugar is extremely addictive. A growing body of evidence suggests that taking hemp oil can curb a wide variety of cravings. Researchers have found, for example, that smokers who supplemented with hemp oil had a significantly easier time smoking fewer cigarettes compared to people who didn't take any hemp oil. Preliminary research shows that heroin addicts who took hemp oil had an easier time managing their cravings. It's theorized that hemp oil works by stimulating the production of dopamine in the brain, a neurotransmitter that increases motivation, promotes healthy decision-making, and elevates your mood. Broad-spectrum hemp oil has a variety of benefits, and helping to curb sugar intake may be another one added to the list. Drink more water is number 4. While this tip is simple, it's an excellent strategy to ease sugar cravings on the spot. That's because the desire to eat, or what we think of as hunger, can actually be a sign that we're thirsty. Research shows that drinking water before eating can help to reduce cravings and increase feelings of being full, leading to weight loss. Now, don't sit there and drink your water just before your meal. Drink your water about 45 minutes before your meal, because if you have too much water, it cuts down on your digestive enzymes, neutralizes them, I guess. So drink your water prior, like a half an hour at least before your meal, so your enzymes and the processes in your gut aren't diluted. Okay, drinking water can help reduce cravings by helping you to feel full, leading to weight loss. And by drinking more water, especially before you turn to a sugary snack, you can reduce your cravings and make it less likely you need a sugar fix. 5 is avoid the big sugar culprits. It's important to be aware of foods and beverages with excessive sugar. Don't drink a diet soda for your meal either. And certainly not a diet soda. If you're going to have a soda, have a regular soda, less toxic. Always read the nutrition facts before consuming foods, as it will tell you exactly how many grams of sugar are in food or beverages. And starting in 2020, these labels will also specifically or specify the amount of added sugar. Ideally, to get the benefits of a low sugar diet, you should avoid going over 25 grams of added sugar a day. Common foods with the most sugar include soda and energy drinks. And why do you need an energy drink? Because you don't have enough energy? Well, for real, if you eat healthy foods, you don't need those things. You don't need anything, just water and healthy food. So common foods with the most sugar include soda and energy drinks, ice cream or frozen yogurt, processed snacks and candy, protein or energy bars, baked goods and pastries, breakfast cereals and processed breakfast meals, processed fruit juice, yes, juice still counts, ketchup, and yogurt. Who needs sugar in your ketchup? Just be sure to pay close attention to the serving size being listed. Many brands will show deceptively small serving sizes to trick you into thinking there's not much sugar in the product. Number 6 is become a master of stress. When was the last time you splurged on a sweet treat despite your best intentions? Most often than not, these momentary lapses of willpower are caused by one single thing: stress. Research has found that when you're stressed, you're much more likely to reach for sugary or high-fat comfort foods. According to Harvard Medical School, comfort foods can provide temporary relief from stress. The problem is, this isn't a healthy coping mechanism. Instead of comfort foods, use stress management tactics that don't sabotage your health. You can also take hemp oil to substantially lower your day-to-day stress. Number 7, get a good sleep. When you're tired from a lack of quality sleep, it can have a surprising impact on your food choices. One study that followed more than 18,000 adults found that sleep deprivation makes people much more likely to consume sugar-sweetened drinks. Even worse, there's also evidence that increased sugar consumption can cause sleep deprivation. Given how sleep and sugar intake interact with one another, they can quickly cause you to become hardwired for sugar. By improving the quality of your sleep, you can likely increase your ability to resist sugary comfort foods. But getting a good night's rest can be more complicated than you may think. Since excess added sugar is so detrimental to your health, having strategies to reduce your sugar intake makes sense. By taking steps that include eating plant-based protein, drinking more water, managing stress, and getting quality sleep, you can experience better health, sustained energy, and even lose some weight. Okay, I bumped something here. There. Okay, so are you really busy? So busy you put convenience you put convenience before your health? You make a fast food pit stop on the way home from work. You're too tired to cook. What is this really costing you? Here's the reality of some of the costs. Obesity and type 2 diabetes rates are on the rise. Just think about that. Around 90% of those with type 2 diabetes are overweight. Is this you? This isn't really a surprise because there's a deep link between obesity and type 2 that can't be ignored. Let's see what this connection is, starting with the basics. Just what is type 2 diabetes? It's a metabolic disorder where high blood glucose levels occur because, 1, your body can't use insulin properly, called insulin resistance, or 2, your body doesn't produce enough insulin. It's mostly connected to lifestyle factors such as not exercising much and carrying extra weight, especially around the midsection. What then is obesity? If not just carrying some extra pounds, it's having too much body fat, which can cause various health problems. You know, the tire around the middle. How do I know if I'm overweight, you ask? A fast way by calculating your BMI, body mass index. According to the World Health Organization, the WHO, a BMI over 30 is considered obese. There are tools and apps to do all the math for you. Just input your weight and height. These calculations will give you your BMI. But remember, BMI is just one measure of obesity and doesn't look at muscle mass or fat distribution. In my contract job as a biometric screener, I encounter so many people that have a 50 or higher BMI. Half of their body is fat, and their numbers aren't any good either. Unbelievable. Most people are aware of the link between type 2 diabetes and obesity, but they often overlook it. So common risk factors shared between type 2 and obesity, while they're different, they have a lot in common regarding what makes them happen. Risk factor number 1 is family genes. Genetics play a big part in making you more likely to have type 2 diabetes or obesity. If your family has a history of these conditions, your chances of getting them go up too. My grandma died from complications of diabetes, and I swore it wouldn't be me. The rest of my family so far doesn't have it, and I don't either. Some gene differences can mess with how your body handles food, responds to insulin, stores fat, making you more at risk for both. While you can't manage your genes, knowing about your family's history can help you work with other things that can be changed. Risk factor number 2 is your eating habits. What you eat makes a big difference in whether you end up with type 2 diabetes or obesity. Health complications of type 2 diabetes and obesity. One big worry is the higher chance of heart disease. This happens because high blood sugar can hurt blood vessels and nerves, leading to clogged arteries, poor blood flow, and increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. Diabetes can disrupt your kidney function and maybe even lead to kidney failure. And here's your damaged blood vessels with increased blood pressure. So now you're not only on diabetic medication, but you're on high blood pressure medication when it's all about what you're eating. Another issue is neuropathy, where damaged nerves cause feelings like tingling, numbness, and pains in the hand and feet. The combined impact when someone has both type 2 diabetes and obesity, the risks pile up. Obesity makes the heart risks linked with diabetes worse by causing high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol, more trouble with insulin. And this combo makes chronic kidney disease more likely. But there's good news. Obesity and type 2 are reversible conditions, even though they're complex. Both obesity and type 2 diabetes are reversible with lifestyle tweaks. Research confirms that sustained weight loss and improvements in metabolic health can result in type 2 diabetes remission and significant reductions in obesity-related health risks. If you want help with this, join my program to get individualized support, reversing obesity and type 2 diabetes, all by following a scientifically backed and natural approach. So you can contact me, Amory Master, at tamingdiabetes@yahoo.com. Let's have a free chat to see if you're a fit for this program. So when you have diabetes, something changes. Suddenly, your blood glucose levels are all you think about. You have to measure them constantly and stress out about these levels day and night. And all these finger sticks, they hurt after a while. So they made it easy. One glucose, the monitors that go on your arm, it's on there. It reads. 2 weeks later, you take it off. You put another one on the other arm. Makes it easy. And I've tried them because I have to see if I'm going to guide you with your diabetes journey, I have to know those kind of things. So you were probably even told type 2 diabetes or prediabetes is a lifelong condition you must manage and live with. But deep down, you know there's a better way to stop fatigue that drains your happiness level, to stop the thirst that never seems to go away, to stop the frequent bathroom visits that interrupt your life, or the constant worry about unexplained blood sugar spikes. You're right to hope for more, because there is a way out. And if it sounds too good to be true, I can speak from experience. Now, before you ask me how clients reverse type 2 diabetes, here's the reason. As a healthcare provider and a certified health coach, I developed my program that I referred to a little bit ago that does exactly that. It keeps getting caught there. I have a proven system that helps you to reclaim your health and vitality, to reduce or eliminate medications and break free from insulin dependence, to the secret to effortless weight loss. I don't know why that thing keeps acting up. To the secret to effortless weight loss that supercharges your energy, permanent solutions to diabetic neuropathy, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol, and the critical food mistake most diabetics make and how to avoid it. So somebody might say that I'm lying, or that's untrue is the same as lying, but I'm not saying it's for everyone, but I'm saying it's possible, and it may be possible for you. The only way to find out is to try it. You have nothing to lose and so much to gain. Your self-love, your life back, so much to gain. So I want to thank you once again for joining this session today. And I do hope you learned about the importance of getting your sugar numbers under control, and the dangers, the complications of the junk food that we eat. So once again, I'd like to invite you to check out my program, Taming Diabetes, at yahoo.com. I'm Annalie Master. I'm a nurse, but I'm doing this under my certified health coaching program. And my sugar was a 6, my A1C, and in 6 weeks, it was a 5. So when people say it can't be done, I know for a fact that it can, because I did it. And that's why I started this course, Taming Diabetes, at yahoo.com. And we'll see if you're a fit for the program. All right. So thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll see you next time. Toodaloo. Thank you for tuning in to my Common Sense Living podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm sure you learned something new. Please leave a kind review and share this episode with a friend. And be sure to subscribe yourself. You'll find me on iTunes, Spotify, and other platforms. And don't forget, we'll be here again next week with another insightful episode of Common Sense Living. I can hardly wait.